Now on BBC One, a chance to get away from it all with a trip to the Canaries, where Jill Dando welcomes you to this week's holiday.
Hello. Do you fancy getting away from the British weather? Well, stay with us because tonight I'm in the Canary Islands, and with temperatures here warm enough for t-shirt and shorts virtually all through the winter, and being only 4 hours away by plane, then it makes for a very convenient winter break. I'll be visiting two of the islands here, the bustling resorts on Gran Canaria and the more remote La Gomera, still relatively untouched by tourism. Also in the show tonight, Eamon Holmes.
Explore the mysteries of the Orient on our Far Eastern tour, the second prize in the holiday competition.
Travel writer Frank Barrett takes his family boating on the Norfolk Broads. And timeshare touts, can you stop them spoiling your holiday? Now, despite the vagaries of the British weather, boating on the Norfolk Broads has been a popular holiday pastime for almost a century. Many people, though, nowadays may be put off by the thought that modern boats are difficult to handle. Well, we sent travel writer Frank Barrett and his family to find out. We joined them in Norfolk on the River Bure.
The dream of boating on the Broads is seductive. Brochures promise lazy days on 140 miles of slow, silent waterways. Unfortunately, at the start of your holiday, it won't always be as idyllic as this. The starting place is here at Wroxham on a Saturday. This is changeover day, when one set of holidaymakers return their boats and a fresh crew of landlubbers takes their place. Boating is said to be an ideal holiday for families. Hello. I've brought my own mutinous crew to put it to the test. First mate Sheila, deckhands Dan and Jessica. To put it to the test. First mate Sheila, deckhands Dan and Jessica. It looks as if we've booked the Ark Royal of Broads boats. It's much bigger than we'd expected. The boatyard issues you with life jackets or buoyancy aids, as these are known. Whether you wear them or not, it's up to you. But with children and in rough weather, I think it's a matter of safety first. Before setting off, a boat hand provides a thorough guided tour of the craft. Nautically challenged people like me need to pay close attention. After a test drive with our instructor, we set off down the River Bure. Inspired by Arthur Ransom's Coot Club books, we've hired a dinghy for around £50 to attempt some real sailing. If you feel like hurrying to escape the busy waters around the boatyard, don't. Heed the speed limit, which exists to stop the banks being damaged by boat wash. If you don't stick to the limit, you run the risk of up to a £1,000 fine. Now to find a safe mooring for the night. Many likely-looking berths are privately owned, so we head for a free mooring at Ranworth Marina. This is rush hour time at the marina. You think you're just going to drive into a space, but what you end up doing in a lot of places is circling around waiting to park. Someone's just pinched our parking space. We were sent a guide to the Broads some weeks before the holiday, which was very helpful in planning our trip. The guidebook suggested a visit to the Broadland Conservation Centre at Ranworth. It's good value. At £1 admission, you can discover the history of the Broads. Now, what about getting that sailing boat out? Well, later perhaps. There are plenty of shops along the way where you can buy food, but you might find it more convenient and cheaper to stock up at the beginning of your trip. Our boat could sleep 6, but it seemed full enough with 4 on board. It was time to get the crew's opinion. Right, I want to ask you a few questions now about the holiday, okay? Yeah. What do you like about boating holidays?
Well, what I don't like about boating holidays is the toilets, the showers, and it's a bit cold when you get up in the morning. But
What's wrong with the toilets?
they're too high up, and you have to turn on the light, which is really high. I can't reach it.
What's wrong with the showers?
Well, if you turn on the hot, it gives you too hot, and if you turn on a bit of cold, it's still too hot.
While you can eventually learn to control the boat, what you can't control is the weather. Be warned, when the wind blows, steering is hard work. Next port of call, St. Benet's Abbey. The minute the boatyard said it was easy. I thought we were going to wallop that boat. They were all sitting at their table looking at me having their lunch as I came in. Oh my God, he's going to hit us.
Like the Titanic.
I just had to look away. The guidebook says that this was an abbey refurbished by King Canute. It sounds as if he went to a sort of medieval home base. But it makes a good stop if you're travelling along the Broads. But don't come here at night. According to legend, a ghost of a monk who betrayed his community can be seen swinging on the arches at night. They just say the sight of it drives men mad. Keep it on 12. There, that's about 5 miles an hour, I think they said. My hardest task on the holiday was stopping Dan from grabbing the controls at every opportunity. It is okay for children to have a go, but you need to supervise them carefully. For the tricky bits, like low bridges, I took over. Now I've mastered the cruiser, time to tackle that sailing dinghy.
Okay, the peak Hallard goes like that.
Well, which is the bottom, which is the top, which has this bit on it? That must go into this
Which
rope
bit?
here.
Just a minute.
Hang on, no, look.
Oh, that's not right then. That bit goes up like that. Put that up and then pull the rope.
Let me have the book.
This is a waste of time.
I managed to get the sail up, eventually, but I seemed to be doing something wrong. It was never like this in the Coot Club, and where was that strong wind now that I needed it? Holidaying on a boat, even a big boat, sometimes made me feel a bit like the old woman who lived in a shoe. But it was relaxing. Next year perhaps we'll try something a bit more Howard's way.
And the Barrett family travelled with Blake's Holidays. Their boat, which sleeps 6, cost £441 for a week. That's £73.50 per person and £47 extra for the dinghy. Details of this and all the holidays featured on this week's programme are on CFAX, page 688. And that's just about it for another show. Next week we've a very special edition of the programme when we'll be coming live from the opening day of